Hi everyone, today is July 17th and I'm going to give you an update of our garden. So hope you enjoy. So to begin, here's our peony bush plant, and all of the flowers are gone for the summer. And go to this side here, you can see the entire crop of berry bushes, raspberry bushes and blackberry bushes are getting bigger. So here I originally planted one bush between every 2 tea stakes, and the tea stakes help you with putting a rope or a string to hold them back. I did this I originally had this area designated for Roma tomatoes, and it did well with a figure 8 method of support system. And there's our yellows. Our reds are coming in, and our blackberry bush here has quite a bit here. And one way to distinguish the blackberries from the red berries are the darkness of the leaves. They're darker on the blackberry bushes than they are on the red berry bushes. The red berry bushes, red raspberries, and the yellow raspberries are very similar. They're very difficult to distinguish. And as you can see, our last bush here has created 3 or more new crops, new plants. One there, one there, and one here, the smaller one. So that's 3 raspberry bushes, black raspberry bushes out of 1. What I didn't show you on the last video last month is this area. It's kind of our transplant area with a stilbees, a stelladoros, and an iris plant in there. We used to also have poppies that we got from the farmer's market. I intend to, move the stilbees somewhere else and keep this area just for the stelladoros. Here are the stelladoros blooms. Everything's blooming right now, July 17th. Our irises, which are over here, they've already bloomed for us. They're purple. Over here is our catmint. Charlie's enjoying it. There's a bee, bumblebees, all the time. Let me try to catch one. If you can see them, they move around quite quickly. Charlie's gonna smell like catmint today, which isn't a bad smell. It smells really nice. This isn't the best location for it. It's crowding out our hydrangeas, but for right now it enjoys this spot. We'll have to figure out a new place for it. Our hydrangeas, we have 2 pink varieties. There's one, this plant's more of like a hot pink, and this plant's more of like a lighter pink. In between them, we do have a stilbees, a white one and a pink variety. Those have to be relocated, but they do enjoy their morning sun. And guess what? Over here, we have our black-eyed Susans, all in bloom. Try to pan out a bit. As well as our hostas. So it's kind of like a full circle, which is a cool, 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 And maybe in this area, I mean, the hostas really enjoy it. The hostas used to make the whole circle, but the black-eyed Susans just love it. So I don't know what to do with the hostas. Do I relocate those somewhere and just let the black-eyed Susans take over? I'll have to think about that. And over here we have our butterfly bushes. Getting bigger, they're taller than me. They're over 5'2" now. I'll show the other side. This plant's a little smaller, but by the end of August, they should be blooming. And we'll see that, and there's all of the ferns. And over on this side are variegated Weigelias. You can see they're crowding out the bird nest, the birdhouse. They aren't blooming. I think they'll bloom again in August. We'll see. But you can see they get pretty high above that window. They'll get higher, like halfway up. And over here are tiger lilies. A few weeks ago, they were really producing more. Today's a day we caught them where there's a lot of new lilies coming out and a lot of blooms that are already spent. So those are our tiger lilies. And I didn't realize that some of the tiger lilies were still on this side. As you can see, they're taller, mixed in with this shorter, oranger lily. And these ones are really pretty. So in our first bin, you can see a lot's happening here and a lot needs to be cleaned up. These here are these green onions. Like I said, they took over the bin and I cut back on a whole bunch of them. And I don't quite think they're Egyptian green onions anymore. I think they are a Welsh variety. And anyways, you can grow these in a bottle of water after you get them home from the grocery store, or just come out and transplant them as long as they're cut. And remember, this side, this is all new growth. This side was bending over and falling over the bin, so I cut them. As you can see, they grew straight upright. These are the kind, this is the time where you should be harvesting them instead of the time where you have to deal with the thicker leaves or the thicker growth and the seeds on the top. Over here is the radishes, and I've let some go to seed. Today we're gonna harvest those. And I'll put a picture in of how many we get out of those. Radishes take like 20 days. They're the quickest to grow. Here's our winter time. And we've already enjoyed this and a few turkeys. It's really tasty. Right here is our parsley. And here we have our chocolate mint. It's about time to make some tea. Brew that for some tea. Here's our basil. And when you cut back the bloom on a basil, or you even go farther back to that node, if I do that, take it off, this plant will be bushier and come back a little thicker in our next video. And over here it looks like some of our cilantro is gone to seed. I gotta cut that off. We'll see if it regenerates itself. But this is our herb bin for the year. So far, a few disappointments. This bin has a lot of weeds, a lot more than when we first planted it. And it could be the soil quality now that the soil is a bit older, but we've rotated some of these crops so it replenishes some nutrients into the soil. A disappointment in the parsley. I mean, it's thick and bushy, but it's remaining small. And it's usually like a bushier plant. It should be bigger. So maybe I'll have to just throw in some more fertilizer and we'll see how that goes. All right, so over on this end, our second bin, we have carrots on this right side. You see I've gone through and weeded them all out. And these are rainbow carrots. So you're gonna have some purple, white, orange, even yellowish carrots. The original type of carrot was purple. And so, do the carrots taste different? Well, some are sweeter. The oranger ones I feel are sweetest. The white ones are the least sweetest. And the purple ones taste just like an orange carrot. So that's my experience with these. It's fun to try it out yourself. You tell me if you taste something different between the colors, but that's basically what I've noticed. And moving over here, you can see our squash plants. They've caught kind of they've caught a disease, and they get this every year. It's not a good growing spot for them. But that doesn't affect the quality of the squash or the nutrients. And we've harvested a lot of green and yellow squash. Looks like a few more are gonna be coming in. Here's some more yellow. A lot of yellow ones growing. Any more green ones? Not too many more green ones. I think after a few more weeks, we're gonna have to pull those out because they won't be producing much when it's not the right climate for them. And they're all got the mold on them. Or a fungus. I can't remember which it is, but it's something that you don't want to spread around the garden. And here's in the middle here, right after our carrots, is our eggplant. You can see a little baby eggplant coming in. And the eggplants, the one thing you have to be careful of are the prickers. You can see right above the eggplant some thorns. Those will get you if you don't pay attention. And here's our third bin, strawberry bin. So we harvested our first crop of strawberries in June, and it doesn't appear like we're having any more strawberries right now growing. We should before the end of August, we'll see, because they're still putting out runners. So you can see down here, trying to grow more strawberry plants. There's some cool tricks. If I let these get long enough, I could put pots of dirt out here and staple the vines into the dirt so they start growing Here's an example. They'll start growing some roots out of each one of these plants will become a new strawberry plant. So I could do that if I wanted to grow a second bin with strawberries, but for right now we're gonna keep only one bin growing. There's plenty of strawberries in there. I might even have to pull a few out just so that it doesn't overcrowd it. And over here to our fourth bin are our bell peppers. And the bell peppers, back in June, I cut the tops off above the healthiest node. And it's not the first node, right? So if you look at the base of this plant, which is a yellow bell pepper plant, which is the same as any bell pepper plant, you can see the stem grows up. And this one has three shoots. I cut it back around here. Where can you see my finger here? I cut it back around here. And then it grew up in a Y formation, like a slingshot there. So you get one plant here, one side of the plant's producing peppers, and then the other side's producing peppers. And look, we already have more than 5 peppers growing on this plant, and they're gonna get big. The key now is to just cut back some of this foliage so that the water's going to the fruit of the plant. You don't want to cut back too much foliage at the top because it can sunburn your fruit that's growing. Your vegetables that are growing are going to sunburn. So you want to take off all of this around the base of the plant, cut that up, and water them now every single day, sometimes twice a day. But they are very healthy. Oh, we have a huge, this is our biggest yellow bell pepper coming in. There's our little sign there. And you can eat that now and it'll be a green pepper. But you want to wait. You'll have more nutrients in a red bell pepper than any other variety. And we like to make yellow bell pepper soup, which is really, really a nice treat for the summer. These are the reds on this side, and the reds are coming in just as great as the yellows. You can't really distinguish them anymore with how the foliage is coming in. In late June, after we filmed, we decided to go ahead with some beefsteak tomatoes in our earth bins. And they're growing pretty well. The wind has pushed them over, so we're gonna put a few strings on these pillars to hold them upright. They're producing some fruit, and I have to go in and remove the suckers from these so that we don't get an overgrowth of foliage and then no fruit. So they're gonna be heavy plants with beefsteak, and since we use less amount of dirt in our earth bins, it's gonna be hard to put a support system in there. So I think that's the best approach this year, is just tying them back. So we'll see how those are doing in August. Hopefully we'll have some tomatoes growing on the vines here. Well, thank you for watching the rest of our video, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. See you later.